This is Don't Forget the Small Stuff, and today we're talking about National Lampoon's Vacation.
Gee, Jess, that must have taken you about 50 takes.
Nothing to be proud of, Andy. 50 takes. Welcome to Don't Forget the Small Stuff, the podcast that celebrates the overlooked and forgotten little moments in films. I'm Jess, and with me today is Andy.
Hello.
And no one else. It's just the two of us.
Outrageous.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do. It's gonna be a different, more low-key affair, I think.
I go with intimate.
Okay, all right, you're fine. I'll go with intimate with you.
Excellent.
Before we start the pod, let's just go over a couple of things. You can find us online at smallstuffcast.com. We are at smallstuffcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can always contact us using email at smallstuffcast.com. Our music, which, let's face it, is the best thing about the whole show, is by Skeleton King. You can find more of Skeleton King's work by following the link in the show notes. So, as previously mentioned, today we're talking about National Lampoon's Vacation. Just a little bit of preamble about this before we get into the small stuff itself. I was thinking the other day, this film has, what would you call it? It has a higher weight in my life than it perhaps should. It was a very kind of influential film on me in my teens. I think I watched it at just the right/wrong time. And I was completely obsessed with Chevy Chase. I thought Christy Brinkley was the most beautiful person on the planet. And I think actually more than almost any other film, it kind of informed me about life in America, which is so weird.
I know, I completely agree with you. I think, on the offset, I think this film is more fun than it is good. But actually, it's better than I remember watching it this time around. But you're right, you introduced this to me. I never heard of it. When you mentioned the name, I thought, what the hell's that? I just didn't know what it was. And this was another world to me. It was as close as to what I thought normal American life was, as a, whatever it was, 14-year-old boy, as I could imagine. And it was eye-opening.
Yeah, I think because we see a lot of American films, right? We see a lot of American entertainment in general in the UK. It seems silly to say that this one film informed me about America more than anything else, but it just seemed more normal than everything else because everything else is sort of fantastic and
it was this and Family Ties. That was it. It was so my view, my warped view of American life was Alex P. Keaton and Clark W. Griswold.
Interesting that they both have middle initials. Very good.
W stands for Wilhelm.
What, Clark Wilhelm Griswold?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Where did you get that from? I
looked it up earlier on. I was curious.
Yeah, I mean, because he mentions Clark W. Griswold often. It's very prevalent. The other thing that I wanted to mention about the film is it kicked off my love of Chevy Chase films. Fletch was a big deal for me about the same time, and then obviously Christmas Vacation and whatever. So Chevy Chase was a big force in my life. But it turns out, actually, in retrospect, he's not a particularly nice man to work with. He doesn't get a lot of good press from his co-stars and things.
No, I gather that. But I, like you, and probably because of you, revered Chevy Chase as being kind of the go-to comedy icon for me in the kind of mid to late 80s, certainly.
Yeah. God, it's my fault. Sorry.
Most certainly, yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say is that I lived in the US for 7.5 years, traveled around a little bit there, and I think more or less everywhere they go in this film, I have spent some time, and I have almost done the drive they do in this film. I have driven literally from Chicago to Phoenix.
Excellent.
Yeah, going via St. Louis, going via like the Sedona area and Grand Canyon and Monument Valley. And so plus I lived in Kansas for a while and so it's sort of, it's indirect and it's probably not connected in any way at all, but it's really quite nice to sort of revisit those places.
And that It's funny because I've got some notes here about the opening credits. I have spent some time in the US and driven around the Southwest a fair bit and some of the Midwest. And the opening credits resonate so well. A lot of the locations that they put up on postcards during the opening credits are quintessentially American in my eyes. I mean, that's, again, probably very obscured eyes. But, yeah, it resonates in me. Like when I watch it again, I can see how these things obviously did exist and why people want to go see them and why people don't.
Yes. For example, the world's second largest ball of twine or whatever he references at one point.
That's exactly
And the House of Mud.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned the postcards at the beginning. I think that's probably quite a good segue to get started with the small stuff. So those postcards, it's a good opening.
Yeah.
A good opening sequence, I think.
I think it's great. I won't skip forward to the end credits, but they're also great for a couple of different reasons. But I think they do a really good job of bookending this movie.
The one thing I particularly wanted to mention about the postcards is that I really like the way, and it's probably a bit of a hokey trick, but I really like the way the final postcard transitions into the actual cityscape of Chicago. I mean, it's a clever trick. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it, when you think about it? But it's done well. It shows they're thinking about what they're doing, doesn't it?
Yeah. The film proper, though, starts with Clark and Rusty going to get their new car, which turns out to be the Wagon Queen family truckster.
I'm going to try and avoid just saying this bit's great. I love this bit. It's going to be tricky, but we'll try our best. This scene is a perfect introduction to Clark. He obviously trades I think he says it's his wife's car.
Yeah.
Initially, for something of his choice, clearly. And he gets the wrong one. He gets the metallic Pete Wagon Queen family truckster. And he's trading his car in, right? So he's obviously got why do they crush it? I don't understand. They immediately destroy what they've just taken in. As,
well, it's because it's worthless. I don't know.
I assume he got money for it, and they've just immediately... Is it worth more for scrap,
yeah.
do you think?
Yeah. Scrap metal, a cube of metal rather than anything else.
Maybe in the early 80s, maybe that was true. Nowadays, it seems insanity. But
I think probably it was just to facilitate the joke, to be honest with you. I don't think there was any rhyme. I like the way you said that it introduces us to Clark so perfectly. I think before we even see Clark, the face of the salesman as he sees Clark and Rusty approaching is all you need to know.
Yeah, he knows the score. He knows his car's not here and he's going to have to sell him this terrible boat of a car.
He also knows that it's Clark and it's like, oh God, this is not going to go very well.
Yeah.
So that car salesman, that's Eugene Levy, isn't it? That's he's now famous for quite a number of other things, but like in American Pie and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
One of his, I don't know if it's one of his earlier roles, but it's the first role I ever saw him in, which I think is great.
Yeah, I think he was around in the late 70s in a slightly different context, but I think it's the first film I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
He's great. We'll come back to him.
Good. The other thing I wanted to mention about that opening scene is that at one point Clark says to Rusty, say goodbye to the old gas guzzler, Russ. And Russ doesn't understand what Clark's talking about because he says goodbye to the guy. The guy that comes along to take it away.
Is that Davenport?
No, it's a different guy.
It's a different guy, is it?
Yeah, but he doesn't know what gas guzzler means. He just says goodbye to the guy, which is brilliant. He says, see you later. Oh, and the other thing is when Clark, we talked about Chevy Chase a few minutes ago. This is the genius physical comedy of Chevy Chase. When he threatens to take his business elsewhere, he does a little head nod.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of that, buddy? I'm going to take my business elsewhere.
He's like throwing the ball into his court. And that's my position. What you got back?
Yeah.
And then, of course, he gets Davenport. Like, what's happened? And Davenport's like, I don't know. And then he's like, oh, I know what happened. You didn't come in. It's like the stupidest.
Then they bring the car home.
So I really like this. So we get to see the family, I guess, for the first time in the series. And you see, as he pulls the car up into the front of the house, Audrey comes by. She's just coming into the driveway on a bike.
Yep.
And one of the first things she says is, Dad, is this really our car?
Yeah.
And she's distraught. She hates it straight away.
Clark, is that the right car?
No, it isn't, honey. I changed my mind.
They flattened our old car like a pancake.
Are you serious? Is this really our car, Dad?
And then Clark's making out like it was his choice that they changed the car. And all the time, the car's just is still running. It's just a piece of garbage from the get-go. And then he gets in and the airbag goes off. And why doesn't he just take it back? It's terrible. I don't understand.
Well, he doesn't have a choice, though, does he? Because they're taking the whole family across country. Wally World. It's this car or you don't go on holiday.
It drives me mad. I'm thinking, dude, just take it back. Go get you see, they had like 4 lined up.
Yeah.
Get another one.
I'll get an alternative.
I mean, it's a terrible
truck.
car, but just pick the next one on the line.
The scene when they're in the house, and Clark and Ellen are doing the dishes. I love the way they do the dishes. Ellen scrapes the food off the plate. Clark wipes the dirty plate with a tea towel and puts it back in the cupboard.
Yeah, they're not washing.
Oh, it's so good. I often make a joke about that whenever I end up doing the dishes, or like on Christmas or other family gatherings. I always say, let's just do it like the Griswolds,
or not, because it's disgusting.
The other thing I wanted to mention about the scene in the house is they use the computer to do the trip. It was clearly in a time when people had no idea how computers worked or video games. It was just like, apparently you can control the video game sprites with the video game controller while your dad's on the computer. It was just so funny.
It doesn't make any sense, because Russ and Audrey are on this Intellivision, I think it is.
Yeah.
And Clark's on some, God knows what that is, ancient thing. Why suddenly they're able to kind of hack the computer with the Intellivision to the point where they can eat the truckster?
Brilliant. Well, that's what I mean. They could get away with it because people had no idea how it was technology. They didn't know how it worked. It's so good.
Yep.
So you mentioned the way the car runs when they pull up to the house. Mm-hmm. That was going to be the next thing I was going to talk about. When they're the first time they're in the car and they're doing the singing, the car is squeaking constantly.
That is so good. I love it. It's completely... No one mentions it at all. It's just in the background, squeaking the entire time. As if, this car's crap.
It's like you pointed out to me years ago in Star Trek and the Next Generation, you can always hear the hum of the Enterprise in the background, and you become sort of immune to it because it's just there. But it's a nice sort of touch, and it's a bit like that, isn't it? It's just the squeak of the truckster rather than the hum of the Enterprise.
Oh man, yeah.
Did you have anything else to say about that first scene in the car?
No, it's funny, on my notes, that was the bolded note I wanted to mention. But I also wanted to mention Beverly D'Angelo's voice.
Oh, yes.
It's incredible in that scene. I was reading earlier on today, actually. Apparently they weren't supposed to sing. And it was something they were doing passing time, her and Chevy were doing just to pass the time. And it was so good they decided to include it or embellish their characters with the fact that they would sing.
They do it so well. I mean, they're harmonizing, and it's great.
Yeah.
That takes us to the stop in the first gas station where Clark can't find the gas cap.
This is probably my favorite physical comedy moment in the movie. He's such an oaf. Clearly, I mean, we've all done it, right? We got into a rental car or a new car. We're not entirely sure where to fill the tank. And I guess with older cars, they were more creative with where they put the fuel tank. And I know that the woman who drives up next to it's got the tanks in the back, which is hugely dangerous. And I think that car ended up being a fireball a lot of times. But anyways, he's searching around for the filler cap and sees that they take the rear one down and decides that's a good idea. It must be this. Even though it's not coming off, it must be this.
He rips that sucker right off.
And before he does that, though, he's prodding bits with the hose, and the cables or the pipe is tangled around his legs. Yeah. He's just bad at it. And then, of course, he whips it off and throws the plate, and it almost hits the woman on the head. She doesn't really react.
No, because where the hell has this come from?
He smacks a car. Brilliant.
I think it just speaks to the genius of Chevy Chase's physical acting, that he can do something that looks so inept, but he does it so well. Like, being able to do something well but look bad is it was a talent.
Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we, in Christmas Vacation?
Yeah,
he does some inept things very, very well, to the point where it's believable. You can believe that someone could accidentally do these things. It's very clever.
Going back to the car with the gas tank in the behind the number plate. My mum's got the first car I remember my mum having was a DAF, and that's where the filler cab was in that,
Such a
behind the number
terrible
plate. So he
idea.
had to fold the number plate down and
A lot of the times the tanks are in the back. Of course, if you're in an accident, people
like
ran into the back. A lot
fender
of times
bender.
these cars burst into
Well,
flames. But there we are.
I'm glad
They
we
don't
didn't.
do it anymore.
No. They spend a little bit of time in St. Louis. And
They do.
yeah, I just wanted to mention when they're crossing the Mississippi. So,
The old miss.
I know Chris has done this a few times in previous podcasts, and I've mentioned it as well. There are certain things in certain movies that you kind of take with you, and you do like some quotes that you often use and things. So I have, it sounds ridiculous, I'm not trying to brag, but I have crossed the Mississippi a number of times. My wife's family live in Illinois. I lived in Missouri and Kansas and Iowa, and so we were back and forth quite a lot. And so, yeah, we crossed the Mississippi a lot. I'm pretty sure every time I cross the Mississippi, I would say, the mighty Mississippi, the old miss, the old man.
Dad, what river is this?
Ah, that's the Mississippi, the mighty Mississippi. The old miss, the old man. Deep river, my home is over Jordan.
And then do the whole thing.
Yeah, I say internally when it's mentioned anywhere. I almost, well, sometimes I do start singing. It's ridiculous because of this line and this piece of song by Chevy. But they do mention the St. Louis Arch, of course, and he says you can go to the top. I have been to the top of that, and it's terrifying.
You're in a little, I've done it as well, you're in a little pod, aren't you? A little capsule.
It's like a washing machine. It's like a round thing. That
So
goes
yeah,
up.
you share a washing machine with a couple of strangers, basically. And
Yeah. But you're a lot taller than me. I mean, there's not a lot of headroom at the top there, is there? Yeah.
No, it's a great thing. It's...
Can you still do it? Is it still open?
Well, yeah. And they've got a great museum. Well, I mean, I say still. I haven't been to St. Louis for a while, but I mean, it's a few years, I guess. It was still there. Still a nice museum down below.
Yeah.
It's a great architectural thing.
Yeah. So he's after he's singing, or what, rather, when he's referring to the Mississippi, he's talking about it as if he's some old river worker, like a kind of romantic relationship with a river. It's like trying to kind of laminate this layer of history and hardship that he spent with the river.
Oh, but and then he's so dismissive about when Rusty says, "Can we go up the St. Louis Arch?" He said, "Nope."
Yeah.
So quickly brings it back down to earth.
Then they cross the Mississippi, and then they, I'm trying not to say the old Mississippi, the old man. Yeah. They take the wrong turn.
Yeah.
And his comment makes no sense from any navigational perspective at all.
Oh, when he says, "What's the difference as long as we get across the river?"
Yeah. What? What is that?
Well, Clark's flippancy comes up quite often. I've got a couple of things to say about it later on. Yeah, he's strangely overconfident at times, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, until he's not. And then suddenly he's sheepish and crawls back into his shell, doesn't he? But there we are.
So I feel like we at least need to acknowledge what is, in hindsight, a pretty horrendous sequence in like the plight of the city, as Clark calls it. It's not even just casual racism, is it? It's just racism. I think it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I feel like I think the sad fact is, actually, forget what's, the racism that clearly is being displayed. It's actually a relatively funny scene.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
It's relatively funny. The fact that they're lost, they're in a suburb of a city, and they're asking a guy who doesn't know, but he's taking them for a ride with the money, and none of that needs to... You can do that very easily without the characters and the portrayal of those characters. So it's a shame. You look at it now and you think you probably shouldn't keep that in now if you're going to show it on TV. Maybe they do. I don't know if they cut it, which is a shame because I think actually the sentiment is funny, but it's just horrifically done in today's light, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same thing. The jokes are funny, but they miss on everything else, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to do this, but I do have to mention it. So it's been a long time since I've seen this film. It has always been one of my favorite comedies, but it has been a long time. But I was finding myself laughing out loud more than I was expecting to. And it took me by surprise. Possibly the scene that I laughed out loud the most to was when they were sleeping in the car and the camera pans to Clark and he's fast asleep. I mean, it's not even that clever of a joke,
No.
but it's executed so well.
It's done exceptionally well, isn't it? It's a lesson to all you folks. Take breaks when you drive, because that can happen. Admittedly, not so amusingly, I suspect.
Yeah.
But they kind of ape on that, don't they, in Christmas Vacation, when they end up in the parking lot for the Christmas tree.
Yeah,
lot
when they
farm,
have the crash. Yeah.
But yeah, it's man, what a guy.
They do finally get to the motel.
There's a slightly lewd scene of Ellen in the shower, but then they head back to bed. And call me naive, but are those beds a thing? The coin-operated kind of
Vibrating bed.
vibrating beds? Is that a thing?
I don't really know the point, but I've seen them elsewhere. Well, okay, no, but even in that context, it doesn't.
No, anyway, that bed goes horribly wrong, and they end up on the floor. And then there's a lovely little bit when Clark's pretending not to know where Ellen is, and he starts to point with his thumb to the bathroom. And she goes, "Oh, I'm down here," and he kind of casually withdraws his thumb.
The point becomes a scratch at that point, doesn't it? It's great. I just wanted to mention, but just before that, and this is another thing that I try to do occasionally. If I'm ever pouring wine, I will almost always do the Clark Griswold wine pour, where he sort of twists his wrist at the end of the pour, but he really overdoes it. It's great.
It's a moment, as a flourish of class from Clark, isn't it?
Well, yeah, is it class? He's trying, at least.
Okay, he's aware that something should be done with a flourish.
They then not find themselves, they go there. It's intentional. They go to Dodge City. I wanted to mention, again, it goes back to how dismissive Clark is sometimes. There's a couple of moments, he talks about how Rusty says the Old West he says it seems dirty and touristy, or I think Ellen says that.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, well, the Old West was dirty. Yeah. Well, oh, okay. So it's authentically
dirty.
Yeah. And then he does the same when he says Rusty says he's a crummy Wyatt Earp. He's wearing jogging shoes, and he goes, oh yeah, they used to, Russ. No, they didn't.
I've done this with my kids. They say things, and I pretend to be wise and hardy traveller, and explain that this is the way because it's easier than explaining it's not the way, or it's not normally like that because this place is cheap and rubbish. I've kind of built this up to you in our plans to come to this place. And when you ask questions that are awkward, I give you bad answers, but I know they're going to stop you talking. And I feel he's doing that quite a lot.
Yes, he's just keeping the kids quiet, basically, isn't he?
We see a classic example of him being overly confident and then immediately not, when the guy pulls the shotgun.
I feel like we could do this with Chevy Chase the whole time, and we more or less have. Again, his physical comedy, when he checks himself to see whether he actually is all right, is amazing.
He jumps up and says, "I'm okay," like reveals himself from behind the bar. And then Audrey's deaf, and he said, "Oh, what's the difference? It was fun anyway." I think it's a line he uses in Christmas Vacation, or I think when Audrey's eyes freeze.
She'll see it later, Clark. Her eyes are frozen.
It's a similar sentiment anyway.
There you go. What is it? Coolidge, Kansas?
Yes, it is.
To see, I guess Catherine is Ellen's sister.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And they meet the whole gang.
So we know, because we've done these movies out of order and you've all seen them, right, that Eddie's vile. Right? He's just an unpleasant character. I think actually he's made worse. I say made worse. Obviously, this is the first time we've seen him. He's worse in this film than Christmas Vacation.
Ooh,
so,
that's debatable. But go on, carry on.
So when we first see him, he's drinking beer, right? And not only is he drinking beer, he's carrying kind of the plastic ring holder for a six-pack. What do you call them? You know, the thing that holds the cans together.
Yeah.
But it's a six-pack. There's a can dangling off there. It's chain drinking. I guess he just will start the day, pick up a six-pack, and just go through them.
He also asks Clark if he wants one, and then gives him the one that he's just been slurping out of, which I love.
Yeah. The reason I say I think Eddie's worse than he is in later films is there's that mention of, I forget his daughter's name actually, but she mentions the French kiss, and Daddy says, it's vile. I do not like that. It's right.
Very uncomfortable. Well, we talk about the scene in St. Louis earlier. There's a 2 or 3 other scenes that make me feel a bit...
It's aged in
bad.
some ways really, really badly. And again, I think if they put it on normal, like
terrestrial TV,
broadcast television now, those things would not be in it. So I think in the cold light of day, he's a nasty piece of work, and I think they soften him and make him more comedic in the later films.
Yeah, possibly
to kind of move away from the fact that he probably should be behind bars.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there is one solitary moment of something that is bordering on tragedy in this film, and when I'm not talking about Aunt Edna dying, because that's pure comedy. No, there's the conversation between Catherine and Ellen in the kitchen.
Oh God!
And Catherine, I mean, it's actually quality acting.
Yeah.
Because she says, when the baby comes, Eddie says I can quit one of my night jobs, and her voice slightly wobbles, and you can see the distress in her. Like this is not the life I wanted, it is tragic. And it's Eddie. Eddie says I can quit one of my night jobs. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Incidentally, when they do first arrive, Eddie tries to kiss Ellen. We've seen this in Christmas Vacation. Yep. She's doing everything she can to avoid him. Quite amusingly so, actually.
Yeah, brilliant.
But yeah, that happens again, obviously, in the later movies.
So it happens in the departure scene as well when they're trying to leave.
Yeah.
She's avoiding it.
And then we have the arrival of Edna. So there's a barbecue going on outside without any meat, apparently. I have no idea what a hamburger helper is.
No, obviously, I don't know.
No idea. But he's grilling that and putting it straight into buns. I just wanted to mention the one triumphant thing of this scene is Eddie's shirt.
Yes.
It's immense. I mean, congratulations. Because it's also terrible, but in a really stylish way.
So it's brown, right? With
blue,
swooshes, blue and cream swooshes on it. Yeah, I was going to possibly mention it in Coolest Look, surprisingly. But
yeah, it's quite a highlight of that scene. I was immediately drawn to his shirt, but there we are. I don't wear shirts like that, incidentally, folks. But I wish I was brave enough to. But Eddie's shirt.
You should.
It's good.
I'd back you up if you wore a shirt like that. Yeah. Did you have anything to say about when they leave?
Only in that the dog. I've never seen an animal hate a person as much as that animal hates Clark.
Okay.
It's very good. It's good comedy, and obviously that plays out a little bit more. And we see the shoes again, don't we? I say again, we've done this in the wrong order, right? Yep. But the shoes that make a later appearance in Christmas Vacation originate right here.
Right here. And it's great because you know exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
That Clark has said to Eddie in a previous meeting, ironically, hey, Eddie, I like your shoes. And the irony has completely gone over Eddie's head. And he's like, right, Clark likes these shoes. I'm going to get him a pair. And then the way he slams the door on Edna's face to shut her up is so good. So you mentioned the dog. There's the sequence where they stop at the rest area and they're having the sandwiches, the unfortunate sandwiches. And Ellen tells Rusty to stop playing with the dog. And he's like trying to tie the dog to a tree. But the dog is just pulling at his jeans, and it's so good.
It's great dog acting. I did read that Chevy Chase adopted that dog afterward.
Oh.
So
okay, maybe he's not such a bad guy.
Well, obviously the dog was acting about the amount of hate it had for him.
Good dog acting.
But it's really good dog acting, if that's a thing.
Yep.
The wet sandwiches scene. Anyone who knows me will know there's little I hate more than wet bread. And seeing Edna just go ahead. She knows. She knows they're wet. She knows why they're wet, but she just chows down on it, and it makes me want to vom. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's good. Edna comes up a little bit later on in my notes because after they visited Camp Comfort, and they're getting unfortunately the scene where Clark is tying the dog to the rear bumper as Rusty is helping Edna up the hill. Edna's screaming at him. She says, "You're tearing my dress." She's not wearing a dress. She's wearing like slacks and a top.
Yeah.
Anyway, a horrible woman. So we know the fate of the dog. It is unfortunate, and I'm sure that scene might come up later on in one of the categories. But I did want to mention the second appearance of the red Ferrari and Christy Brinkley.
Yeah,
because there is a moment. I mean, Christy Brinkley, gorgeous, incredible model. She was a big deal at the time. Really bad actor. There is a moment when the Clark she overtakes him, and then Clark tries to catch up with her again.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks over and she gives a surprised face look, and it is so bad. It is like a
Yeah,
I'm literally doing it, and it's an audio medium, so it's not coming across on the audio, obviously.
It was pretty bad, folks. I can tell you that much.
Anyway, it's unfortunate, and there's a couple of moments later on as well in the bar scene, which again,
it's canned acting, isn't it? It's like, right, now do this, now do that.
Yeah.
Here's the face you should be making.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is her first screen appearance, though, right?
And she was an actor. I mean, she was there for different reasons.
I think she's still doing some work on screen.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I haven't investigated her acting career, so I apologize to Christy Brinkley if I'm being overly harsh. But yeah, her first role, unfortunately, but it didn't change teenage me from thinking she was the best thing since sliced bread.
Driving a cool car as well, wasn't she?
Oh my god, that car!
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know. Obviously, there have been a lot of great Ferraris over the years. But I still think that's probably my favorite. Maybe it's just because it was I think probably either that one or a similar one was in Magnum at the same time.
So it's a 308 GTS. Is that the same as Magnum has?
Well, he either had the 308 or the 328, but I don't know which. And they look similar.
Yeah.
And it's just a gorgeous looking car, especially when
incredible as well, doesn't it?
When it's alongside the family truckster. It just looks absolutely amazing.
Interestingly enough, I was just reading around this a little bit, and I forgot Vegas Vacation existed, frankly. Yeah. But she's in that as well.
Really?
Well, exactly. You've seen Vegas Vacation, but you've blanked it from your memory. It's that bad. But the same thing happens. And again, I quickly checked it out on YouTube. So he's driving, again, I can't say from where and to go where he's going. But they're in some kind of crap minivan. And then the same thing happens. She rocks up in a Ferrari. And it's broadly the same. But it's a considerably worse Ferrari.
Oh.
I don't know what I didn't have the time to go check out which one it was, but it was like a really square, I don't know, late 80s, early 90s thing. It was vile. But anyway, yeah. So she reprises her role.
Okay. Then, I mean, we're sort of skipping ahead, but not very far, because they have the real, because they nearly crash when Clark nearly runs into the truck coming the other way when they have the second meeting with the girl in the red Ferrari. But then they do crash for realsies. Mm-hmm. When they're trying to find the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, so what's nice about this is it's a well-filmed crash, I think. I think it's really so, obviously no one would actually do this because no one's that stupid. But, well, I don't think they are. But the fact that when the car's going through the air, it's relatively slow motion and it lands quite steeply on the front and the front bends up. In a fashion where I've seen on the Dukes of Hazzard, right? And the Dukes of Hazzard just drive away and the car's magically fine, despite the fact the front has been stoved and bent in half, frankly. But it's actually relatively convincing. The car, when it's on the ground all smashed up, looks like it has just been through that accident. So that was encouraging. And then, I mean, this bit's it's a gold mine of little stuff for me. I think my favourite bit is when... Well, there's a couple of bits. Firstly, the airbag, which previously went off because he sneezed near it or something when he had the car, doesn't go off at all until he opens the door to get out.
Yep.
And the reason he's getting out is because he says he's going to go check under the hood. So he gets out and proceeds to climb onto the roof. Completely. I mean, what?
Yeah. I got that in my notes. Why does Clark get on the roof?
I don't know, because it's only then, I think, when Rusty says he's, must have jumped this thing 50 yards.
Yeah.
It's not like he's got up to see.
To survey his fine work, yeah. It does make you wonder why after going through the road closed sign, why did Clark keep his foot on the gas? But it is a thing that happens. I've watched enough Fail Army to know that people drive into shops and buildings and when they're not meaning to,
panicking, and then you put the throttle down before. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I guess it does happen. Clark clearly decides that he's got to go save the day, and he takes Rusty up to like a perch on the edge of a little hill, and they have a chat. And actually, I think this is quite touching. We mentioned it a little bit with Christmas Vacation, how it's trying to pull on the sentimental or your sentimentality a little bit. But I actually think this is more successful here, because I think the speech he has with Russ is actually the sort of, I can imagine having that conversation with my son. And
after when you crash.
Well, no, forget. Yes, exactly. Well, I hope not. But it's just saying that essentially, we're going through a bit of a nightmare here, and I'm looking to you to look after the family. I'm going to go off and try and save the day. And then he starts to weep, and it's actually pretty good acting, I think. I think it's pretty good. It's quite convincing, and it's clear from that, to me anyway, that, and we said it again before, that he's just a chap with a family constantly trying to do the best he can.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, some of it self-inflicted, others just bad luck, it all goes wrong almost all the time.
Well, I think that's the point, isn't it? He tries too hard. He's so desperate to be a good dad that he loses sight of reality quite often. And, I mean, he runs off into the middle of a desert with no sign of anything anywhere. He just runs off in a random direction.
Yeah. Before that happens, though, because we'll get to that. Before that happens, at the end of the chat with Russ, they're just littering.
Yeah.
They're just throwing their cans down, and there's something else I think he throws down as well. That's not cool, is it, guys? It's just
no, littering is not cool.
It's not cool. Don't do that.
But then Clark does wander off into the wilderness.
I'm sure this sort of thing happens all the time. Do you think? What sort of thing? What? I don't understand it. So I love this little vignette of, firstly, where's he going?
Exactly.
So he just picks a direction and walks, but I don't think he's even going in a straight line, as far as I can tell. He just seems to be winding around things. He's clearly, the sun's getting to him, the heat's getting to him. He's clearly going slightly mad. And then we see that the dudes on horses spot him, and they just call him an a-hole.
Yeah.
Which I think is fantastic.
Yep.
Right? And I assume these are the guys that eventually rescue the family, because they mention it, don't they?
Yeah.
They leave him.
Mm-hmm.
They purposely leave him, go find his family and save them, which I think is a nice touch. But tell me, so he's getting hot and sweating, and he's clearly thinks he's going to die because he keeps saying, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm dead. He takes his hat and his watch off.
The watch bit is brilliant.
He's falling down that sandy bank,
Yeah.
and he flings his hat away, which is a terrible idea, but his watch...
Yeah, I mean, he really wings it across the sand as well, which is great.
Yeah.
They do finally get back together again, and Clark is all right. And then we're going to skip ahead a little bit, I think, because we want to talk about when poor Aunt Edna dies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so obviously they realise she's dead. There's a slightly amusing bit where Clark squeals, and they drive off the road and stop, and they all dive out immediately. And clearly Clark's coming up with all manner of crazy ideas on how he can save the holiday. There's a brief suggestion that they just leave her there. And there's a fact, I said I wasn't going to do this, but there's a great line from Russ where he says, well, you'd find her easily. All you'd have to do is look for the buzzards.
She must have passed away somewhere near Flagstaff. What are we gonna do, Clark?
Well, we could leave her here, and the first phone we pass, we could call your cousin Normie, and he could come and get her, I guess.
That's the meanest, coldest.
Well, what do you want me to do, call Federal Express?
Mom, we don't have to ride with the dead person, do we? Please say we don't.
Yeah, come on, Mom. It'd be real easy for Cousin Normie to find her. All they have to do is look for the buzzards.
I mean, it's the most heartless thing that anyone's ever
Russ
said.
is very serious about it as well. He does not want to get back in that car. So I like that line.
He was just thinking practically, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, I think the He's lost the sight of reality at this point, hasn't he?
Because he says, doesn't he? Clark says, we're going to have 3 days at Wally World, but best 3. Yeah. Like, that's the thing that really matters at this point.
Yeah. I mean, the solution they actually pick is equally terrible. It's funny enough, when I first saw this, I didn't really realise how bad it was treating someone who's recently died in the way that they do. Yeah. But watching it again, I was like, man, really?
Well, I don't know if we'll keep this in, but I'm going to say it anyway, just because it's... My mum's in a care home, she's not doing well at all. She recognised me, but we couldn't really converse at all when I last saw her. But I did tell her I watched National Lampoon's Vacation. Yeah. Bear in mind, I was with my mum for half an hour, and she probably said about 6 things the whole time, and most of those 6 things didn't make any sense at all. When I told her I'd watched National Lampoon's Vacation, she said, "Oh, with her on the roof." So
it is a poster child for that film, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is the kind of memorable image, which is a bit sad in itself. But it's horrible. She's like sat upright, clutching her
purse, her handbag. Yeah, definitely. So all of that stuff leads to them having Clark has a rant in the car, and then at the motel they have an argument, and Clark storms off with his white shoes.
And he goes down to the bar, and he sits. Clearly, he's looking for some company. He probably just wants a conversation, but he sits.
Do you think?
I think so.
Okay, all right.
He just wants a chat, right? And he sits at, I think it's at a table first, or is it the bar?
No, he sits at the bar first.
And he must say 5 words to this woman. I don't know what he says, but she's immediately offended by his presence.
I think I read his lips for the first thing. I think he says, "Can I buy you a drink?" But then I didn't make out what he said after that. But it was enough to go, "No way, buddy."
Yeah. I don't know how you can be that unpleasant to anyone, frankly, and get that reaction so quickly. But there we are. So there's some quite energetic piano playing going on in that bar. It's like slightly over the top, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a crappy motel, and there's a pianist there, which is a bit weird. Yeah. Turns out that guy, Lorenzo Salviati,
amazing,
I think his name is, at the time was Beverly D'Angelo's husband.
Oh, okay.
Piano player extraordinaire.
Well, in the coolest look category, I have piano player, ! Not because I think he's got a cool look. I just didn't know where else to put it. Mm-hmm. Because he's got a cigarette holder.
Yeah, he does. He does, yeah.
Like what they had in the 20s? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's him.
Not a good look, mate.
Beverly D'Angelo's husband at the time.
Okay, wow. All right. Fair play. What's his name? Lorenzo what?
Lorenzo Salviati. I'm pronouncing that terribly badly, I suspect. But
shortly after that, they go out to the swimming pool, and it's one of my favourite sequences, I think, is when Clark is boasting about his swimming.
Could have been in the Olympics.
Yeah, his monologue about how he's proficient at many strokes and he dives. As a matter of fact, I could have been in the Olympics.
Well, yeah, he's not confident talking to women, is he? Just.
And then the brilliant thing is that it's then followed by him actually diving into the pool, and it's a disaster. It's a terrible dive. I mean, it's the sort of dive I would do, and I am not proficient at many strokes.
I like his bobbing walk as he's walking towards the pool in a sort of fake confident stride, or strut, I should say.
Oh, I forgot. He took 3rd in the state final in his senior year.
He did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, are you going to go for it?
Here?
For starters, sure. Why not? Don't you swim?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sure, I took 3rd in the state finals in my senior year, and I swim, heck. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling completely at ease in the water. Yeah. I'm proficient in many strokes, and I dive. As a matter of fact, I could have been in the Olympics. Yeah, I'll be right there. Yeah. This is crazy. How's the water?
Exhilarating.
I'm in deep.
literally got written down here, Clark does a terrible dive.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're on the same page, yeah. Because he then does another terrible dive when he goes swimming with Ellen.
With Ellen, yeah. It's equally bad, isn't it?
Going back to how this film has sort of had an unnecessarily large influence on my life, there's a couple of other... when they are arriving at Wally World, there's a couple of things that Clark says that I say often. When there's a moment when things are getting a bit exciting, or you're on holiday and you're coming up to your destination, or something exciting's happening, like at a football game or something, I quite often say, "Don't get too much sun," because that's what Clark says, just for no reason. He's just reminding his family, "Don't get too much sun," which I love. And then they arrive, and they're the first ones there.
First one's here.
Yeah, first one's here.
First one's here.
And to be honest with you, that's all I've got for the rest of the film. I mean, as good as the next sequence is, I don't have much else to say about it.
No, there's some funny lines and stuff, but we'd be here all night.
I like the guy who plays Roy Wally. I
think he's very good, isn't he?
He's sweet.
I did read, actually, they have an original ending, and I don't know. I did read what it was. I think they ended up taking Roy Wally hostage in his own house, which I think they then sort of use in Christmas Vacation. Yeah. But as I understand it, that didn't go down too well with test audiences, so they hastily refilmed the end, and that's when they got John Candy involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't think he was originally in it, and they paid him $1 million for that, which 40 years ago was an absolute fortune.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
I think it was, I suspect the end felt pretty hard with the test audience, and then they thought they should...
we need to do something about this.
Something quite drastic. So they got John Candy in to play the security guard very well, I think. So, but yeah, I've got nothing specific other than the fact that it's fun. I think the ride footage is actually really good. Feels genuine.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff nowadays doesn't feel genuine. They clearly look like they're on that ride and are terrified or enjoying it or what have you.
And I love the way on a couple of the rides, the kids are having fun, and Clark is still holding the gun and looking around suspiciously as if he's got to make sure that everything is still safe or whatever.
He's got to keep check on that Magnum PI, hasn't he?
Did you want to say anything about the end credits?
Yeah, I alluded to it earlier. I think the end credits do a equally good job of tying the movie up. So essentially, it just does a scene by scene replay in the form of postcards with the cast of that particular location or scene, and I think that's really nice. And what caps it off for me is that the last card is clearly, they clearly went home on a plane because it's the family on a plane with Wally World hats on, looking happy. So we're happy in the knowledge that they fly home, assuming they just leave the truckster there, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because it's a disaster.
And they live happily ever after until the next encounter, when they go to Europe. So less said about that.
We probably won't be covering European Vacation on this podcast, unless we're going for a lot of episodes and we run out of stuff to talk about.
Unless we run out of movies.
Yeah.
But never say never.
No. All right, we are going to take a break. Before we do the main categories, let's just do the quick hits. There are no uses of binoculars, so we can't check to see whether it was done correctly in POV. In terms of bad ways to die, so there are 2 deaths in this film. Dinkums, or Dinky, and Edna. I feel like it's
not a contest, this, is it?
Well, it's Dinky, right?
Yeah.
It's a horrendous way to die.
Yeah, tough little mutt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is the second film in a row where a dog has died. I mean, Chris contends that Pippet doesn't die, but we're pretty sure he does.
Yeah, so it's clearly Dinky here. Probably kept up for a mile.
Poor guy. Tough little mutt. And there are no backhanded spit wipes. So I thought there was going to be one when they have the car fixed by the two dudes in Arizona.
Those mechanics certainly look like the type of guys that would have done it.
Yeah, there was definitely some spitting, but no spit wipes, unfortunately. So can't be referenced. Okay, let's do the real category. So audio corner. For me, it's no contest. It's the theme song. It's
It's Holiday Road.
Holiday
by Lindsay
Road,
Buckingham,
yeah.
right? I mean, I've got that, and for a token, something else to talk about, I've got the Ferrari engine sound. But to be honest, that's great, but it's not Holiday Road by Lindsay Buckingham.
Yeah, I love that he does the opening credits and the end credits. But Holiday Road is actually genuinely decent song, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to mention, back in the old days, when I was a kid and I first saw this film, as I have already alluded to, I was fairly obsessed with the Ferrari and I was fairly obsessed with Christy Brinkley. And the song that was playing when both times the car pulls up alongside the truckster, was I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
On my version, and I've got it on DVD and I bought it digitally, on both versions it is Little Boy Sweet by the Pointer Sisters, which is also the song that's playing at the rest area with the wet sandwiches. So they have removed I'm So Excited from
You're right.
from those scenes.
Because I was only really made aware of that song being, mid-teens as I was when I saw this. I didn't listen to the Pointer Sisters. The only reason I knew this song existed was because of this movie. And I didn't even register that. But you're right, it was that, and it's not that now, is it?
I went out and bought a Pointer Sisters album because I loved I'm So Excited so much, directly because of this film. And then they've taken it out, and I think it is a far better song for the Ferrari scenes than Little Boy Sweet. And I'm not making this up, because in the credits, and at the end of the credits they have the songs, I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters is in the credits.
There we are.
But it doesn't feature in the film. So there. But we are unanimous. Audio
Holiday
Corner
Road.
award goes to Holiday Road. Agreed. Best looking scene.
Well, to be honest, I think the US does a good enough job of becoming a pretty good backdrop for two of the scenes in particular for me. But Monument Valley wins. When they're in... There's a shot when Clark, he's just gone off on his way to his intrepid rescue attempt. And it's just before the horseback guys rock up.
Yeah.
There's a real wide shot. And the great thing about that is not only is it an incredible place, but it gives you a great sense of scale, because it starts to zoom in to Clark, and you can't see him initially. And then you suddenly realise just how massive this area is and how incredibly beautiful it is. That sticks out like a sore thumb for me. That scene, so that gets my vote.
Yeah, good. I mean, I'm tempted to put it in as well, but I'm saving it for best location, because best looking scene for me is the first time the Ferrari pulls up alongside the family truckster. It must be a helicopter, because drones didn't exist back then. There's a helicopter shot keeping up from the side, keeping up with the truckster and the Ferrari pulls up alongside.
Oh yeah,
and you can hear the engine revving, and it just looks amazing. And because they're moving they seem to be moving really fast. The sense of speed is great, and the helicopter is obviously going at the same speed as the cars. So there's a lot of like motion blur of the scenery zooming past them, and I just think it's really well done.
Yep.
And the car looks amazing. So that's my shout for best looking scene. Monsieur Mendel Award for our favourite incidental character.
There's two candidates. I'm torn. I'm going to go with Ed. I'm going to go with the car salesman played by Eugene Levy.
Okay.
I think he's. I think he does it really well as well. It's really well acted. He makes that scene for me, and I'd like to see more of him in this film, but obviously that's not what this is about. So the other alternative, of course, is the cop.
Yeah.
Get out of the car,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and several amusing lines that he says during that a conversation with Clark. But yeah, so for me, it's Ed, the car salesman.
I think there are incidental characters left and right in this film, and a lot of them are great. I agree, Ed's great. I also want to mention the man that works at Camp Comfort. That is played by Brian Doyle Murray, who is Bill Murray's brother, which I love.
Right. He's also in Christmas Vacation as his boss, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's in it's not Chevy Chase film, obviously, but he's in Groundhog Day. He's the mayor of Punxsutawney as well, which I love. So he's wearing a Nixon Agnew badge. I mean, I don't know when Nixon Agnew were running, but it was got to be early 70s, I should think.
Yeah.
So this is 1983, so he's holding on pretty tight to the Nixon Agnew ticket, which I love. But yeah, for me, it's the cop. So he's played by James Keach, who is brother of Stacy Keach, who I think is slightly more famous. But James Keach was married, or maybe he still is married to, and her name's just gone.
Jane Seymour?
Jane Seymour, yes, thank you. So I know I'm bringing my mum back into the pod today. My mum's met James Keach.
That's so strange.
Yeah, he came into the chiropractor's office where mum worked, and so they had a bit of a conversation, which I think is, and they talked about me weirdly.
Oh, that's so strange.
My mum has spoken to James Keach about me, which is
what
so.
What would you
random.
say to James Keach if you met him?
I would shake him by the hand and said, like
get out of the car.
Yeah, I would just say, but I love the film so much. I don't know what I'd say. I'd probably go all kind of starstruck and not be able to say anything.
Yeah, because
he's so good.
Mm-hmm.
He's so serious and like properly plays the serious cop well.
Would
but
you ask him
then he crumbles.
Ask him what the penalty for animal cruelty is in this state.
Do you know what the penalty for animal cruelty is in this state? Well, it's probably pretty stiff.
Funny, because neither do I.
Yeah.
You know what the penalty for animal cruelty is in this state?
No, sir, I don't.
Well, it's probably pretty stiff.
Yeah, so for me, it's the cop. On his name badge, it says L. Wilson.
Luke.
Yeah, Luke Wilson. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for you, it's Ed.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So this is where I'm going to talk about Monument Valley, because for best location, it's hands down Monument Valley. We've seen it in lots of films. John Ford made many films in Monument Valley, and it looks great everywhere. I have been to Monument Valley 3 times at least. I tried to go a 4th time, but it was so foggy and snowy that the guys at the front gate said it's not worth coming in, don't bother. Mm-hmm. And it's just an amazing place.
I too got Monument Valley, but that's twice, so I feel like a bit of a cheat. So I'm going to say the motel.
Which one?
The motel. Sorry, the motel where he meets Christy Brinkley and they go swimming. Because I think that looks like a nice motel. Mm. I'm surprised. Like I say, we've already talked about the bar. It looks quite a nice bar.
Yeah,
a nice jazzy piano player.
Fancy piano player. Yeah,
piano player. Nice pool. Seemingly nice pool.
Cold.
Yeah, so I'll go with that, because I think that is a surprisingly high-end motel, but actually it's probably Monument Valley, because that's probably one of the coolest places I've been to as well. So, there we are.
Couple of quick honourable mentions, if you like, in terms of location. Maybe this is just a sentimental choice for me. I like the rest area in Colorado, the Wet Sandwiches rest area, partly because it reminds me of taking road trips in the States and stopping in rest areas. Rest areas aren't nice by any stretch of the imagination, but what it represents is a nice thing.
Yeah.
And then there is a shot when they are driving through the Rockies before they get to Camp Comfort, and it is a panning out wide shot of this road kind of winding through a valley in the mountains, and it looks absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Monument Valley wins for me.
Yep.
So the souvenir, prop or item from the film that you would like to own.
Okay, so it's a battle of license plates for me on this.
Nice.
There are 2 license plates. So the first one is, we've talked about it already, when it's the Lou Glutz Motors license plate.
I love that
on the back of his on the back of the truckster.
I love that you've got the name right as well. That's so good.
Need to check that.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it's slightly bent after he's ripped it off the car. So I think that wins, but a very close second is the Ferrari license plate, which says "Love Me" on it. So yeah, I love that, of course, but Lou Glutz Motors wins for me.
Really?
I think
that's the winner.
It's really obscure.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you have hang that on your wall, people are like, what the hell? The Love Me is slightly... People, it might be a little bit on the nose. They won't look beyond the fact it says Love Me. So there we go.
So, you know, I'm a fan of a geeky T-shirt.
Yeah.
I feel like Lou Glutz, did you say?
Yeah,
that's a good, like a Lou Glutz license plate T-shirt. That would be good. I would wear that. That would be cool.
Someone must make that. I'll have to look on Etsy or something.
So I have also got 2 souvenir choices, and I'm still slightly undecided. So one option is the shoes, the actual shoes, not a replica pair of shoes. I would want the actual shoes.
Would you wear them?
No.
No, I think you're right. They're bad.
But you have them somewhere, right? You show them off. Yeah.
Just don't put them in your wardrobe. People might think they're actually your shoes rather than just a... Yeah.
So, but I think I'm leaning. I feel the shoes perhaps is a little bit obvious. So I think maybe I'm leaning, and I'm going to piggyback off your souvenir from Christmas Vacation because you went with post-attack Garden Santa.
Yes.
So I think I'm going to go with post-attack Marty Moose.
Excellent.
That's
a big old souvenir.
It is a big souvenir. Yeah, I'd have to have a big. Well, look, I'm figuring. We've done this 9 times now. This is our 9th recording, and we've, apart from the fact that I selected a boat.
You did have a yacht once.
Yeah, so that won't fit in the room that I'm planning, but I think I'm going to have a room with all my movie souvenirs.
Okay.
So I feel like post-attack Marty Moose, let's call him post-punch Marty Moose.
Okay.
Yeah, post-punch Marty Moose. I think actually with the sign, sorry folks, we're closed. Even with the button that you push and he will say, yeah, that.
Yeah.
So that's what I want, I think.
Excellent.
Okay.
That is a good selection.
Coolest look.
I've already mentioned Eddie's shirt. I can't really see past it, but it is just a shirt. The rest of what he's wearing is terrible.
But that's okay. It can be a look, you know.
I think I'm going to go with what Christy Brinkley is wearing.
Yeah.
The white ensemble. So
which one are we talking about? Because
it's the one she gets out of, essentially.
Okay. Right.
So, but I mean, she's wearing like a jumpsuit, I think, earlier on in the Ferrari and then at the rest stop.
Yeah.
But I mean, clearly it's picked perfectly for her by whoever dresses her, or it might even be her. Who knows? Yeah, she looks stunning in that. So
yeah, that's a good shout. Actually,
it's better than Eddie's shirt, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've gone off the wall slightly with this one. So both Rusty and Audrey buy T-shirts at Dodge City. You only know this because they wear them later on.
Yep.
Rusty's T-shirt, it's so perfectly of a time. It's a Boot Hill Cemetery T-shirt from Dodge City. It's kind of this. It's almost like a not quite tan. It's kind of a really light khaki almost color with darker brown like piping and rings on the sleeves and the neck, and then the Boot Hill is in this kind of almost like rainbow colored like text. And I just think like retro stuff can come back in fashion every once in a while, and I just think it works. And I just think
buy yourself one of those T-shirts as well.
Yeah, I really like Rusty's Boot Hill Cemetery T-shirt. So
excellent.
I did also write down Eddie's shirt, the brown with the swooshes. Yep. Clark wears a light blue suit at the beginning of the film as well, which I think
does when he's picking the car up.
Yeah, I think that's quite nice. And then I also, of course, mentioned the piano player, but I think maybe almost not the piano player would be my.
Ironically so, yes.
Yeah. But no, for me it's Rusty's T-shirt.
Cool.
All right, and time for our closing credit.
Yeah, this one's fairly straightforward. The credits are short, and I feel like this is turning into the Christy Brinkley podcast. But hey, that's not such a bad thing, right?
Right.
So it is Girl in the Red Ferrari. I don't know why they need to say Red Ferrari. There are no other Ferraris. And interestingly, I've already mentioned she reprises her role in Vegas Vacation, where she's known as Woman in Ferrari.
Okay, so maybe it's not the same person.
Yeah, I mean, it is a red Ferrari as well, but
okay.
But anyway, it is Christy Brinkley in A Girl in the Red Ferrari. So It's a simple one this week, folks, but tough picks.
It's a tough category for MVP this year, or this episode.
Yeah.
But no, it sounds like Christy Brinkley is MVP of the.
I think so.
Of the podcast.
Right.
Okay, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
And cheerio from me. Next time we'll be talking about Ridley Scott's Alien. Maybe give it a watch if you want to join along, but don't forget the small stuff.